As all of you know, it's basically Halloween. Or a little late. Yeah. So I thought, fuck it.
Your balls.
Yeah. Time for a spooky video, and I thought, what possibly could I make for a Halloween video? So I kept looking and searching, like I was literally trying to find the one piece for this horror manga. And you know, I'm not really scared of anything. I'm a pretty brave person. So it took me a long and hard time to find something that may tickle my fancy. But then I remembered about a manga that has been talked about in high regard from Twitter to TikTok. That being Uzumaki, a horror manga that was made in the 1998. I about said 90s, which is still correct. Today we aren't talking about the anime. Today we are talking about the manga, which was one of the most bizarre readings. Going into this, I had no idea what to expect. I mean, literally zero idea. But besides that one manga panel that like everybody throws around everywhere, but I didn't know that it was from this manga until I read it, so I'm still right. I knew it was a horror manga, and that's about it. And I'm not gonna lie, even a person like me who doesn't really get squeamish and stuff, this shit kind of made me feel a little wonky. But in a good way. This manga has some moments where I just busted out laughing with how absurd it got. But first off, if you truly find this manga scary, then this is a warning. This video is going to be talking about the scary spooky shit, so if you can't handle that, be warned. Because you'll definitely shit your pants with this one. Might as well jump into it now that you've all been warned. We start off in the small town of Kurozukocho, where the whole events take place. This is a regular town on paper. We see a nice beautiful sky, a nice little town with regular people. I mean, this shit's starting off sweet, ain't it? We get nice scenery, we get beautiful mountains, a beautiful lighthouse looking out at the sea. We hear a girl say this town is where all these crazy, wacky, goofy ass events take place. And you're like, say psych right now, bitch. Look how pretty this beautiful place is. But that girl speaking is our main character, Kiri Goshimiya. And funny thing I'm gonna talk about before we get into all the nitty gritty, when I was reading this, I kept calling her Kyrie, so just know every time I say her name, whenever I was reading this, I kept thinking about Kyrie Irving hitting some between the legs, jukes, and shooting a three, so I guess funny, but anyways, back to the story. Kiri is a regular schoolgirl who lives in this tiny town on the coast, and her days even start off really fucking weird if we're being honest. She runs into a very random dust devil, which seems like a common thing in this town, like most of the wacky things. But something weird happens specifically on this day. Kiri sees a man staring in a dark alley, but she's not fully sure if it's her boyfriend's dad, but the silhouette seems exactly like him, so she screams his name, but he's looking at something, being absolutely mesmerized by it. She walks off, unsure whether it's him or not after screaming his name. She's saying, haha, whatever, bro must have been lost in the zop, but we later find out from her boyfriend that it was his dad. Dun dun dun. And that motherfucker been acting really sus. Like super sus. He's getting into this constant state of mesmerization. He stopped working and just stays inside his study, staring, looking into these spirals, infinitely. Getting lost in the spiral, so lost that his eyes start spinning, becoming spirals themselves. He even turns his bathwater into a whirlpool before getting in, turning his soup into a spiral before eating. Blood is going apeshit. But as her boyfriend tells her all of this, he must exclaim something. This town is fucked. He goes to another school, so he's able to leave this town over and over again. But every time he comes back, he feels different. Like the whole town has a curse. And he begs for them to elope and run away together like a beautiful love story because this town is fucked. But she says, bro, you're just crazy, lol. And she says it's fine, but he starts pointing out everything in this town. Spirals. The water streams, spiral. The whirlwinds are spiral. Everything in this town, spirals. Even the clouds in the sky, spinning endlessly. And then when he points it out, you start to see it. So I went back to see if there was really spirals everywhere. And I'll be mo-fucking damned. You look at the very first page, you see the grass spinning. Literally spiraling. The tree bark is spinning. And holy shit! This town might actually be motherfucking cursed! We pick back up with Kiri as she delivers a piece to her boyfriend's dad. Her father, being a potter, made a special spiral plate that he specifically asked for. And when she gives him the plate, he says, I do not need it anymore. And she questions why. But he's reached his peak. Circus Maximus shows her that he is a spiral now. He spins his tongue into a spiral. But This shows the manga's true strength, and that is body horror. This being a major showcase for this manga, the art is fantastic and the body horror really fucks with you. It actually gets you in the soul. But I'm gonna stop the story right there and really talk about this arc. This shit is beyond amazing. Sure, I've never read pieces of art like Berserk or One Punch Man, but this is some of the best art I've ever seen. The way everything is portrayed is great. The spirals are seen in everything. Like I said earlier, you can find them everywhere. Like the father spiraling mentally out of control, and that's showing his body physically looking grotesque, all spun up, and it looks so nasty and disgusting, and it's fucking great. Like exactly what I want, a nasty body just looking fully fucking nasty. The hands being together to start the spiral, and his tongue forming a spiral like earlier, then his whole body just finished the perfect body spiral. It's fucking great. Like the centipede appearing to the traumatized mom later on, and you see the father's face screaming at her, begging for her to join him. The face appearing in the body of the centipede, it's so fucking good. It really creeps you out. It's like this uncanny feeling of like not super nasty, but it's just on the verge of being nasty enough. Or later on, seeing Azami, one of Kitty's friends, head slowly turning into a void. From each page turn, you see her void go deeper and deeper until it comes to a point when she reveals herself again. And she's got this massive ass hole in her head, and her eyeball spirals down into her body, eventually swallowing her and a boy who liked her whole. It's fucking amazing. I love how crazy they make this shit look, but one of the goofier moments this manga had was a whole story arc about a girl who fiended for attention. And eventually she got her wish, but also Kitty was cursed with the same power of having crazy wacky hair, which gave them attention. And the two of them fought over the attention, and that shit was funny as fuck, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, look at these two goofy motherfuckers fighting with their hair, but holy shit, I couldn't stay serious throughout this whole little arc because it was actually just so silly and wacky, leading into the other girl dying because of hair, which has the power of its own, sucked the soul out of her body. Literally. But also, with there being a silly side, there's obviously a serious side. There was a story about this boy who had a crush on our main character, Kitty, and to prove how much he actually liked her, he tries to stop a car, but blood was not built for it, and he gets stuck in the car tire. And holy fuck, seeing his body like that is so, like, nasty. I felt the worst seeing this kid die because it's something that's so fucking real. The way his body's contorted into the tire is just such a wacky feeling. Maybe because it's the realest death in the whole manga. Like, this could happen to anybody or anything. It's kind of scary. Who would have guessed a horror manga having horror moment? And fuck, when he comes back, good lord, he hits full exorcist and flies in midair and starts chasing our main characters down. His face and body just give off this eeriness, really unknowing, is he gonna actually stop or keep chasing them? It's really cool how he looks too. He's like a Frankenstein monster creation, but one that actually took me out was the snail part. Seeing a kid turn into a snail was actually fucking nasty. I've never felt that way watching or reading something, but this one I was like fucking ew, and I just speed ran through this chapter because I was really kind of disgusted by him transforming and how he looked, respectfully. It just felt so nasty, which is what the author was definitely going for, so mission accomplished, I guess. As you can tell, the spiral is the big bad of this whole story, ruining lives and making Kitty's life hell until the very end, where it disappears and is never seen again. It shows up as a massive galaxy and it sucks someone up and is never seen again. Like, there is no historical data on this galaxy being seen from their town. It is completely off the face of this earth. It just disappears. And it makes you really curious, is this an alien type thing? Or was this town actually in a dilemma? I guess we'll never know the answer for the spiral because it's never really answered. It's actually an open-ended story, and what I like to believe is that what happened was this story is just looped forever because it's a spiral into Kitty wakes up from her own madness, realizing that she was just crazy and none of this shit was real and she's just on a mental trip, or she did a lot of acid, whatever floats your boat. It's an open-ended story, so you get to really decide whatever the fuck you want this manga to be about or how the ending goes. But the body horror this author truly excels at, like something I've never seen before. I mean, the creep factor from it all, the eerie feeling you get as each chapter just adds to the horror. The story has its ups and downs from each chapter, but overall it does its job, and it definitely gets more creepy than scary in my honest opinion. But that is just the fantastic thing about horror. We can find anything scary, and I think that's what makes this manga really good and worth the read, because I might not find a chapter scary like you might, or vice versa. But one thing for sure sure, they for sure cooked on this body horror, an absolute strong part of this manga, which I really love. Overall, a fun horror story with some goofy moments that kind of make you say what the fuck in a silly manner, but also what the fuck in an ill manner. I really did enjoy this story, and if you're feeling a bit spooky on Halloween or after, and you want to do something besides watch Scream 6, go check out Uzumaki. I think it'll be worth your while. Have fun reading it, or if you have read it, leave some comments what you think about the video. But I hope everybody did enjoy this video. Shout out to Esv who edited this video. I know he worked fucking hard on this one. It was a really long one, but I hope everybody enjoyed this video, and shout out if you had a good Halloween. I know this video's not coming out on Halloween, but hopefully you had a good Halloween. But hope everybody enjoys. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and shout out Esv in the comments. Bro did fucking phenomenal work. Thank you all, and see you all next time.